People have been voicing their concern about the release of the runes on Throne and Liberty, and people are not happy about how grindy it is to farm. In my opinion, I think that it is fair that the people who farm dimensional trials should have more of the advantage than the average player who doesn't, but this shouldn't be a large gap. What I mean by this is, according to our Korean server veterans, the time it takes to get to level 60 is extremely long, even if you farm the dungeons every single day. Kanon, a famous Korean Throne and Liberty streamer, said on one of his streams that even he would not do another rune farming because he already had enough on the Korean server, which just shows how terrible the grind must have been. But since I know that Throne and Liberty developers usually listen to the community, instead of yapping about how hard and grindy it is to farm, I would instead yap about how hard and grindy it is while giving some suggestions to hopefully ease the grind for us players. One of my suggestions is to add runes as a reward on our daily dungeon runs. In the current patch, we are able to do 5 dungeon runs every day, and giving out at least 5 runes on every run would definitely give our casual players a faster way to catch up to the grinders that treat Throne and Liberty as their work and farm runes all day. This way, it would also give incentives to those who have already completed their build to still do dungeon runs, since I've seen a lot of players who just let their dungeon tokens be full because they don't have the need to grind more. Or they think that it's just a waste of time, especially for people who could easily swipe and get lucent. If they think that 5 runes is too much, then they could adjust it to where 2-star dungeons would get 3 runes and 1-star dungeons would only get 2. What they don't realize is that a large majority of the players right now are not able to grind runes on a daily basis. I mean, most players can't even burn all of their 1-star and 2-star dungeon tokens, not to mention the Abyssal contract tokens. I mean, just look at how many Sanctum of Desire contracts you're hiding in your inventory right now. If they're thinking of the longevity of Throne, they should be thinking about ways on how they could make more casual people stay. Because these are the players that keep the game alive, and they're the ones keeping this game relevant, not the top alliances, because they only add up to like 240 players max. And if you're scummy and you have a mega alliance, then right around 480 players. While it is also true that we would eventually reach the max level of runes if we keep on attending world events, but when is that really? 1 month? Surely not. I would guess around 6 months if I'm being generous, and that's if you religiously attended every world event, especially since Tier 2 gears are coming, and with it comes level 80 runes. Who wants to get pummeled every day for 6 months by a dude who has max level runes every PvP just because you don't have the time to actually grind runes, because most of us have a life? We have schools that we should attend to, we have work that we need to feed our family, and we have other things in life that need to be done more than the game? And guess what people feel when they get their ass beat every day? A. Fucking quit the game. B. Fucking quit the game and break their mental. C. Fucking quit the game, break their mental, and destroy their keyboards. Or D. Enjoy it because they're a masochistic fuck. Doesn't matter. Every option is bad. And who's the genius that put this rune box in the weekly mission and thinks that players should do 7-dimensional trial runs before they could get 150 boxes of runes? I mean, why not just put 7 normal dungeon runs on it, or just bring back whatever mission was in there and just replace the rewards with the rune boxes, because everyone would definitely be grateful. Hell, I'd give you and the entire Throne and Liberty team my feet pick for you to bring those missions back. If by any chance they can't do any of this, maybe making Tier 5 trials a bit more forgiving would be the go-to solution. Currently, not all people have the chance to learn the mech because players don't like to waste time teaching other players how to actually play the mechanics. Because for some reason, it is so hard to explain to players that each player shouldn't get close to each other because the fucking boss is about to breathe on my rear.
Can I blow air into your butt?
And I get it. Even if they did watch a YouTube video, they would still need to experience the real thing because we're humans. We make errors, and we learn more through experiencing things. You're not going to expect someone to cook a perfect steak the first time they do it, not even on the second time or the third time.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
So that is why my suggestion is that Tier 1 to Tier 5 trials should have the same mechanics as the 2-star dungeons. No new bullshit. And the higher tiers should have a higher chance of getting Chaos runes or something, because it doesn't make sense that Tier 5 has the same chance of getting a rune as Tier 15 and higher. Also, send us straight to the boss room. Why do we need to kill all of the mobs in the area before we go inside the boss room? To damage check us and make us quit if we can't kill the mobs in the 5-minute marker? Just scratch off 5 minutes from my time and let me go inside the boss room and start the shit show early so that we won't waste another 5 minutes if we think that we can't beat the boss in time, or one of our members doesn't know the mechanics. Like I said, I don't blame them because there are a lot of casual players that just want to enjoy the game, and most of the mentally challenged players on your dungeon trial run are just the players who want to try the new dungeon trials to see if they can do it. And guess what? They can't. And if they can't, they end up being kicked because of how extremely punishing it is, to where if you just lose one player on a tier 5 trial dungeon or above, everything would be fucked. And if you don't have runes, it means that if you're a PvP enjoyer, you are just a punching bag for players who maxed it. Don't tell me that I should just learn to play better. Yes, playing better than the enemies matters in large-scale combat, but in small scale, playing better is not going to do shit because this game is not built for that. Most of the ability in this game is point and click. That, or a dagger swipes your ass, putting you in the ground and charging a heavenly blow straight to your face. By the time you wake up, you're at spawn. And guess what happens when players get beat every day? Yes, they get burned out. Next is you lose players in your server, and that server ends up dying, having one alliance rule all without a competition, and now no one is having fun. You see that slippery slope argument I just did there? Yes, that's how angry I am about all this rune grind. Good thing that my guild leaders told us that it is not required to farm runes, because I would definitely be back playing with my wife, called Kafka, in Honkai Star Rail if they didn't say that. Definitely not because my guild leader is subbed to my YouTube channel. Another thing is, I think that they should keep on giving rune rewards when playing events, such as the current Christmas event. Or if the abomination himself, the Tingle Tinger, came back, I hope that it gives 100 runes per run because I just finished my therapy caused by him saying ting every run that I did. I grinded that event too because it wasn't as hard as grinding tier 5 trial dungeons because everyone knows what they're doing. And I did not attend his art show after that because I had to go to my therapist after listening to him for a month. Anyway, I'm just putting it out there so the developers don't forget that these runes in the events are extremely helpful to us. And the final thing that I think they're not realizing is that playing this game is supposed to be fun, and no one in their right mind is currently thinking that it is fun to grind runes every day for 3 hours just to kill a boss. I had this group of members in my guild that took 18 hours to beat tier 17 of Shakarux when the runes were recently released. I'm sure that if I asked them, was it fun? Their answer would be anything but yes. I really thought at first that Throne and Liberty was going to be an MMO that respects players' time. Now I think that most players feel like it's becoming a second job. I just hope that they could find a way to ease the grind for the players, because at the current state that we're in right now, I don't think that most of the players are lasting more than 3 months after Tier 2 releases. Fumes are literally coming out of my ears while making this, so I need you to subscribe for my therapy. With that, thank you for watching, and subscribe for more Throne and Liberty videos.